Hi everyone, I'm Annie and I work for the Pikes Peak Library District, and today the craft we are going to be making are our very own, very cheap Sailor Moon tiaras. Today what you're going to need is a specific kind of cardboard, a kind of flexible one so it can bend around your head. I got mine from a cereal box, that's what I recommend. Scissors, pen or pencil, either way, you just need something to draw on it with. Gold paint, paintbrush, some kind of newspaper or protective cover to put down so you don't make a mess everywhere. Glue, and these little acrylic looking gems, specifically the oval ones because that's what they look like in the show. So, this isn't too many steps, so don't worry, it'll be pretty quick to do. Your first step is going to be drawing the rough shape of what you're going to want your Sailor Moon tiara to look like. While you're doing this, you generally want it to tuck back kind of around your ears. That's where mine is sitting. So the size of yours might be different. And as you can see, I clearly had to go through a few different options to figure out what worked for me. Okay, so first, we're going to want to make sure that we have our nice flexible cardboard. We're going to kind of draw the general shape of our tiara. Now, when you look at the show, their tiaras kind of have a little dip down in the middle. So while you're drawing, try and use pretty light strokes so that the paint can cover it up. We're going to dip down and then come back up this way. Now we're going to repeat that, and it doesn't need to be super thick, just thick enough to kind of put the gem on. So if you want to measure it by putting it there, you can, or you can just freehand it. Follow your heart. And don't worry if the sides don't match up perfectly. I have a solution for that as well. Well, there we go. If you want to make it a little darker, you can. Totally up to you. Whatever works best for you. This is all just for fun. Make it work however you need it to, okay? And there we go again. Off to the other side. It's maybe about an inch in width if you're a numbers type of person. But again, do whatever works best for you. Now we kind of have our general shape down. But how are the sides going to match, you may ask? You can either cut this out freehand as you like, or you can fold the cardboard kind of roughly in half where the point is and decide, which side looks prettier. I don't worry too much about the fold in the middle since our gem is going to cover most of that. And I have decided I like this side better. So we'll take our scissors and we'll start at our little dip here and just start cutting. You're going to need a pretty firm grip to make sure the cardboard doesn't slide on you. Feel free to take your time, there's no rush. And especially getting through the double layer might be a little hard the first time. Yep, there we go. There's that. Now we can just repeat the cut over here. And there we go. We have our tiara shape. We're all gonna set this aside for now. Now our next step is to actually make it look like the tiara. So we're going to take our gold paint. Again, try not to make too much of a mess. Nobody wants to clean up that. We're going to put a little in there. And we're just going to start painting it. I usually start from the middle and work my way out. But you do you. As long as it gets this nice gold color on it, that's what matters. Okay. So, now this is all painted. Make sure there's no big blotchy areas, all nice and smooth. We're going to let this dry, and we are going to put on a second coat of paint. If your paint doesn't require you to need a second layer and you think it's good, go with that. I, however, am going to put on a second layer just to try and even it out a bit more. My first coat is dry, so now I'm going to add my second coat of paint. When you're doing the painting, you're going to want to do fairly long, smooth strokes so you don't get a whole bunch of streaking. It won't show up too much since this is cardboard, but it never hurts to be careful. And don't be afraid to just really get that paint on there. That's a really nice rich color to it, which is exactly what we want. You also want to make sure all of your pencil marks are covered up. Alright, we're going to let this second coat dry. In the meantime, make sure that you wash out any bowls or anything and you wash the paint out of your brush so you don't damage it too much. Okay, now my second layer has dried. We're just gonna pop that up there. It's okay if it sticks a little. That's just the paint. It's not gonna ruin anything. There we go. Now we've got our general shape, the general color. This next step is something I like to do personally, but choose whether you want to do it or not. I go through and just gently curve the tiara. So that way it fits around your head a little better. It's not a fold, so don't fold it. We're just trying to get a nice, gentle little curve. So it'll fit around your head real nice. So, next we are going to put on our gem. Now you can buy these online at your local craft store, whatever you want. You can just pick whoever your favorite Sailor Scout is and do that one. As you can see, I've done a couple different colors. So another nifty trick, if you feel like, is you can take these little clear ones and color them with Sharpies in different colors, like blue and green, if you don't feel like ordering specific colors online. So which color do I want to do? I think I'll just go with the clear one. Why not? So the kind of glue you're going to want to use, you can try an Elmer's glue. I haven't personally. I got an actual craft glue just to make sure it would stick on top of the paint. is the real concern here. So test drive it, see what works for you. This is all pretty flexible. Now, for my glue, I don't need to necessarily worry about it poking around the edges since it's clear. But if you're using like a white glue or something that might show around the edges, be careful of how you're putting it on, since you don't want to have a little halo around your setup. And we're just going to plonk it right in the middle where our little dip is. Kind of make sure I'm pressing that so it stays. Now we're going to set that and let that dry. So you can see it's already come together real well, especially if I curve it like that. Boom. Fantastic. We love it. Just going to let that dry, and then we will be on to our final step. Now our jewel has dried on and everything. Looks fantastic. But Annie, you may be wondering, how will this fantastic tiara stay on my head? There's a couple different options you can try. Kind of depends on what you feel like. You can always punch a little hole on each side, thread some string through it, and just tie it in the back of your head. You could get some elastic, tie a knot on each side, and just have a nice little strap that you can use. But the method I have been using requires just your scissors again, and 2 bobby pins. So this is going to add some more folds, but since this part should be tucked back into your hair, most people won't see it. So we're just gonna fold over here. You want to do it right near the end so this part tucks into your hair. We're just gonna make 2 little slits. They don't need to be big, just big enough to get the bobby pin through. Nothing crazy. You can see there's just a nice little flap there. We're gonna come and do the same thing on this side. Flip and flap this around as much as you need to get the cuts you want. I'm just going to throw my pencil on the floor apparently, but that's okay. So now we've got these little flaps here. Now the way I do it is I take my bobby pin, I make sure that the flat side is facing this little gold bit here, and we're just gonna thread it through like this. So there's just barely a bit of the bobby pin showing there. You repeat the same on this side. There we go. Boop, boop. And there we go. You've got your nice attachments. That'll hold up there. And you can just work to tuck that into your hair, since the bobby pin will all catch on that. But again, that's just how I do it, so feel free to figure out what works for you. And there you have it, your very own Sailor Moon tiara. Now with the bobby pins, I've just kind of got them tucked back into my hair. Let my hair kind of cover it, and looks totally like the show, I know. And now you can make your very own. I hope that you enjoyed our video today, and I'm Annie with the Pikes Peak Library District, and I will see you in another video.